What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Jay in the building. We is back again with another video, man. Now, before we get this video started, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys share the video. Oh, we have the Celebration Bowl on the way this week, man. The final game of the HBCU season. This has definitely been wild year. Definitely wild year. Now, of course, we all know that before the Celebration Bowl, there's the Florida Bowl between Johnson C. Smith and I believe Fort Valley State, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so we are gonna watch that, of course. All right. So, but let's get to the Celebration Bowl real quick, man. Now, before I'm not even gonna say who I think is gonna win just yet. I'm gonna give like an opening statement or whatever, right? So, we got Howard and Florida A&M in the Celebration Bowl. The first time both of these teams has been in the game. How ironic, FAMU is 3 years removed from the MEAC, and here we are, FAMU representing the SWAC for the Celebration Bowl, which is pretty ironic. You got a high-powered offense in FAMU, followed by run-stopping, pass-stopping, all-worldly defense. Number one in the FCS versus a Howard team who's been pretty so-so. When it got to conference play, they really turned it on. They're coming on a 2-game winning streak. One of those games being they beat down Central, absolutely destroyed Central, in which at one point in time Central was ranked in the top 10 in the country, and Central came to town and put up 50 on them. So yeah, this is really a pretty good solid team. And granted, it's not a lot of people giving them a chance. There's not a lot of people giving Howard a chance, but we are gonna point out some things that it could be a lot closer than what people want it to be. And let me say this: I think everybody in the SWAC is rooting for FAMU at the moment. Like, listen, it's not looking good for the SWAC when it comes to the Celebration Bowl. Like, let's keep it real. It don't look good for the SWAC. Like, if there's anybody that's rooting for FAMU, it's definitely Grambling State. But I'm pretty sure Grambling State don't want to be the only team to win the Celebration Bowl for the SWAC. Like, I'm pretty sure of it. So FAMU is gonna have a lot of SWAC fans behind them, a lot of them. But let me say this: before we even get to the offensive weapons that is gonna be playing this game, I just want to get right to the big boys. Between Howard's O-line and FAMU's D-line, I think that's going to be a real good matchup that a lot of people just really won't pay attention to. Dunquar, one of the old linemen for Howard, is probably their best old lineman out of Canada. You also got Darius Fox, and you also have Demetrius Witherspoon and them boys versus stingy D lineman and Anthony Dunn. You got Gentle Hunt. You also have Sharif Sayer and a few moving parts. This is a defense that has 38 sacks as a team, and Anthony Dunn is an absolute stud. Absolute stud. I think he's going to be a real big key on that defensive line to bring the pressure. He has about 17 tackles for loss with 12 sacks. This guy has been a monster all year long. So Howard is going to have a hard time containing him. But I do believe that they will be going up against one of the better offensive linemen that they've been up against all year so far. And I do believe with the out of conference schedule that Howard had this year, with playing against Robert Morris and playing against Northwestern and Harvard, I think it's going to prepare them for a game like this. And I do believe that as good as FAMU defense is, I do believe that Howard might come up. Listen, Howard had a whole damn near a month to prepare for this game. And I believe that in their mind, they kind of already knew that they were going to play against FAMU. Like, they knew that. So they had a whole month to prepare for this team. So they're going to be well rested and healthy. Now, I think the matchup that I'm going to be looking for the most, and I think this is my key matchup, is the running backs at Howard and Jared Hunter and Eden James and even Ian Wheeler versus Isaiah Major and Johnny Chaney. I think that matchup could really tell the tale of this game right here. You got Howard's running backs who are not only involved, this is not only a heavy run team, but their running backs are heavy involved in the passing game. Jared Hunter is the leading rusher. He has over 600 yards, but he's also the third leading receiver. I think he has a little under 300 yards. I think he has about 270 yards receiving. Eden James is also used in the passing game as well, and he also has over 500 yards rushing. Now, Casey Hawthorne is their best receiver for Howard. He's their best receiver, their first-team all-conference performer. Matter of fact, a two-time first-team all-conference performer. And he also is used in the run game as well. He also has 4 rushing touchdowns. And those rushing touchdowns come from a direct snap. So he is used in the backfield quite often for this team. I think what Howard might do in this game is they are gonna want to create matchups, a mismatch for Casey Hawthorne, which of course he's gonna be used not only outside and in the slot, but in the backfield as well. And I think what Howard might end up doing, and listen, I don't think any team that FAMU has played went up against a team like this, to where they had 3 running backs that they can use not only in the run game but out in the backfield catching the ball. And I believe what Howard might end up doing is, I think they are going to attack their running backs or their linebackers head on. I'm talking about in the passing game. They're going to put Jared Hunter and Eden James out in space, and they're going to force their linebackers to cover them in space. And I think that's what you have to do in order to open up your offense. Like, you can't be afraid to attack one of their best defensive players. And listen, we all know how aggressive Isaiah Major is. Now listen, he's played safety before too, so it's not like he can't cover, because Isaiah Major can cover from sideline to sideline. So I do believe that he will be matched up on Jared Hunter one-on-one quite often. I think is Johnny Chaney that I think they're going to attack the most. If you're going to attack if you're going to see a weakling in somebody's armor, which I don't believe, FAMU don't have any weaknesses on defense. But if there is somebody that you are going to attack on defense, try their other linebacker outside of Isaiah Major. Try the other guy and see what he does in space. So I do believe that Howard's running backs are going to be heavy involved in the passing game as well. And we'll see what happens with that, man. But in terms of FAMU's offense, going up against Howard's defense, they're going up with Howard's D-line and Darren Brockenberg and Jamal Stewart. They're going up against, guys on the O-line for FAMU like like Austin Grable and Kendall Thomas and Cameron Coven, this is probably going to be one of the best offensive linemen that they've been up against. But listen, and I know what they did to Central. They kept them under 20 points. This is a different offense that they're going up against. You're talking about a very explosive offense. You're talking about an offense that they don't really listen. They'll run the ball, but if the running game doesn't work, it's okay because they have the receivers to spread it out at any time. You got Marcus Riley, Jamari Shareed, Kamari Young. You got Jamari Gasket. They have a lot of weapons at receiver that you are going to see a lot of mismatches happen for this secondary at Howard. I think the question is in this game period is Howard gonna be able to keep up with FAMU in their scoring? Because I do believe FAMU is gonna score some points. They are gonna score points. Now, Howard defensively has been better than they have been over the years, and even in their last two games, they held Central to 20 points when they averaged about a little over 30 points a game. So I think defensively, Howard is gonna have to send the pressure. They're gonna have to force Musa to get off of his game, force him to move around out of the pocket, and force him to throw on the run. Because anytime Musa has time to throw the ball, Musa is going to find his receivers. The main thing is that FAMU is going to have to catch the ball. The receivers are going to have to catch the ball because, listen, even though I do get on Musa and his accuracy somewhat, his receivers does have a tendency to drop passes. So it's going to be imperative that, listen, if the FAMU's offense is ran how they've been running most of the season, it's going to be a long day for this defense. It's going to be a long day. The question is Howard's offense going to be able to score with him? Now, speaking of Howard's offense, you got Quentin Williams, leading the way. And I always hope that Howard would be in this game, with Quentin Williams, because he's been on his offense for about 3 years now. And I'm kind of glad that he's in this position that he's in. And this year, he really don't make mistakes for real. Quentin Williams he's only thrown, I think, 3 or 4 interceptions this year. Now, he doesn't throw the ball down the field often because he likes to throw to his running backs, so his receiving core isn't really that explosive. The only receiver that he really does have to work with is Casey Hawthorne. So, listen, you're going to have to get the other guys involved. The other guys are going to have to find ways to get open because they're going up against a pretty stingy secondary in FAMU. The number one passing defense in the country. I like their secondary. I'm pretty sure. Now, in terms of the FAMU's linebackers, I do believe that because Howard uses their running back in the passing game, if I'm FAMU, I'm bringing down one of my safeties, whether it's Lovey Jenkins, whether it's Eric Smith, hell, even if it's Kamari King. I'm using one of them to play the running backs in passing situations because you already know Jared Hunter is coming out the backfield. And then James is coming out the backfield. So I'm using one of my safeties up against these running backs. And I'll see where that goes. But I think this secondary is a little better than Howard's receivers. So Howard is going to have to find ways to get Casey Hawthorne open. So I think that's going to be real interesting to see. I'm not ready to make a commitment as to who I think wins yet. I just want to give out like a brief summary of what we're looking forward to the game. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I can't wait for it. We're going to talk more about this game at a later date, but I'm excited. I'm absolutely excited for the game, and I absolutely can't wait, man. So we're going to talk more about this game pretty soon, man. So, yeah.